Hi, everyone. So today we're joined by the amazing Sarah Eden, who has spent a fabulous 12 weeks with me on the coaching program. And today she's kindly decided to share a little bit details about her experience with coaching. So if you're at a stage where you're thinking, is coaching a good idea? What happens when someone hands over some money? What happens with the results? What sort of things go through above the norm? Hopefully Sarah can shed a little bit of real light on that. And if you've got any questions, you can just message me after. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi. So would you like to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So, I'm Sarah Eden. I'm a singer and I'm a business coach for musicians. And the two main things I do is help musicians raise their profile, and I give them a passive income stream, and really just give them somewhere to take them from kind of overwhelm to clarity so they know what they're doing.
And let's be frank, you're a bit of an undercover rock star. You are. I mean, you've worked with all the big names that are out there on sort of a lot of the top films that have been out there. I mean, what have been some of the big pain points that you found that got you to the stage of thinking, well, actually, you've already done a lot in your life. You move into coaching. What were some of the pain points you got to before we met, that led you to sort of getting a coach?
I think two main things: structure of my business, how to set that up. I wrote a program quite soon because I kind of knew what musicians needed. So I wrote a program, but didn't really know how to get that out there. And the second biggie was I didn't know how to sell it. And I was actually terrified of selling it. So that was my two main things, really.
I mean, a lot of people do sit on the fence about hiring coaches, right? Getting help for the business. What's the biggest fears you had before? Because there's a big jump between I want a coach, I need a coach, knowing it, and then taking action, right? I mean, what's some of the fears that you faced? If any, I mean, you might just have felt.
I'm fairly ambitious and fairly driven. So I knew I wanted to do it. For me, jumping out of the kind of musician world into more of a businessy world was a massive fear, because I thought, can I do it? I don't know. Well, am I going to be able to do that? Can I afford it? Am I going to pay back? Am I going to earn the money back that I've spent on this? But yeah, I suppose the biggest fear was just, what's it going to be like? How am I going to be taught? Will I get it? How long will I have to implement? Yeah, loads and loads of stuff. but I knew I wanted to have someone who'd been there before me, and had, a lot of experience. So hence you.
Magical stuff. So after joining the program itself, I mean, how did you find the structure, standards of support? Because I know a lot of people are watching this, have been with another coach before, and they've, rather than having a coach, they almost just get a program and off you go with that. How did you find that one-on-one side? Did you find it met your expectations? Tell me.
Truly and honestly, I found it quite scary, because it was a massive spotlight. And although I'm used to the spotlight on the stage, a different kind of spotlight. So that was quite scary, but really good, because it did, with that accountability and that support every week, and that level of support where you really, really listened to what I needed every week, and every week it was different. Sometimes I went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then we had to go back. I don't know if you remember this, but we went back 6 weeks, and suddenly pennies dropped like at different points in the program. So you're thinking, oh my God, I should have known that. And so that was a big hurdle for me, but it was really good to know that you went with it, and you never made me feel embarrassed. Even though I felt embarrassed, you never made me feel bad for not getting something you'd already told me a month before. But we kind of got to it when we got to it. So that was a really.
And you did great. I mean, you picked stuff up great. I mean, I think we're all over. It's easy to over-analyze ourselves and judge ourselves, but the penny drops when the penny drops at the end of the day. I mean, is there anything you found surprising in the training that you didn't expect? Was there anything that you didn't expect that you did get? Is there anything that you really craved and you thought, if that was in there, that would have made life easier?
I think what I didn't expect was the detail, like the drilling down into the detail of every last little thing, which sometimes was like, oh my God, I'd done a whole load of work and then realized, no, you need this, so down to waiting lists, down to DMs, down to how to respond to people on Instagram, how to do stories, how to do posts, how to do reels, how to, just not just how to do them physically on the phone, but the strategy behind every single bloody thing you do. Excuse me, sorry.
That's all
right. So that was surprising, and one of the great things you taught me, which I'm still working on now. I haven't got through all the work that you set me, but what's really sort of exciting and surprising is that idea of stepping back from your business and saying, okay, if I couldn't work this business and I had to hand this over to someone, what documents are in place that they can read and within a few minutes understand exactly what that job entails. And that was such a great bit of advice, because it made me think, okay, that's the level I need to have everything sorted. And that's, so that was a bit of an eye-opener. And I, although I'd worked at that detail as a singer, a completely different world. So yeah, that was surprising and brilliant. Enjoying it.
But it's great that you're still going through it. And this is one of those big things, right? It's not just, I think I probably said to you, as I do to everyone, when we get set up on a course and a program, it's not just last day, right, you're left in an empty barn with nothing to do. You're very much, you've got that progression. We fit it into 12 weeks, but you've got enough to get on with for a long time. And you've obviously got the platform as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's so much that you can do. And pennies are dropping all the time, even though we're not speaking, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that bit. And I'm honing my program, I'm honing my services. And every time I'm writing little, documents for my own business, I realize that I'm referring back a lot to things we've talked about. And then I'm looking up Zooms and, I'll watch that again. And yeah, so it's, as you say, it's more of a lifetime thing than here's all the information, now you're fine, because it takes.
Do you find that, interestingly, that, so for anyone who's watching this back, you get everything on a transcription and you get the videos sent to you, plus to-do lists, breakdowns. I mean, it is intense, right? But you get a lot from all angles. And do you find you're utilizing a lot of that stuff leaning back after those weeks have passed?
Yeah, I think, honestly, because of where I came from, that was pretty overwhelming for me. But I kind of always knew it was there. It's almost like having a massive reference library of stuff. So yes. I always know it's there to go back to. So, that's fine. And once I got over myself that I couldn't just pick it all up immediately, then actually, it's a great resource. And the platform, I've been onto that platform maybe twice, 3 times, and I really need to be on it, and there's so many. There's just so much information.
But I think that's the difference with coaching as well, right? Because you've had me for 12 weeks. You've been given a lot of what's on the platform. I mean, for anyone who's watching this back, you can just pay a very small amount to get the platform without that one-on-one. But I mean, you with the one-on-one was important. But you've got a lot of those tools have been given to you in a verbal fashion, I imagine, as well.
Yeah, I think so. And the thing with having the platform, which I think the platform is brilliant, but it is just like walking into a massive shop and going, I've no idea where to start. Whereas for me, the one-to-one was necessary. I needed that hand holding because it hadn't been an area I'd worked in at all. So to say, okay, when you first ring up someone from that event company, say this, and then do this, and then next week do this, and in 3 days say that, it was so prescriptive, and that kind of makes you feel more relaxed, because I'm confident to do stuff. It's just knowing what to do. So
there's no gaps left, I don't think. It's just, and I think it's doing all the things that take the time. I mean, is there any small things in there that sort of you found really helpful? Is it more about sort of knowing being literally, this is the words to say? Because a lot of people are quite vague with this type of stuff, right? Having the keys to the kingdom, I mean, you literally get everything, right? So was there any specific things, the little things that really made a dramatic difference for you? Or have you just been pretty happy with everything?
I think I heard, because you talked to me about so many of specifically the sales strategies so many times in different ways, I kind of understood them differently at different times, if that makes sense.
Yes,
so,
it does.
I think, that process, the thing that sticks in my mind is the process of the first port of call to the close. And the same for when I was talking to coaching clients, and signing new coaching clients, that idea of kind of coaching them through the coaching call, which you taught me how to do, which was brilliant. And my problem was always going, I've got it, it's brilliant, here it is, right now, pay. and go, oh, why aren't they? This is ridiculous. They should just know that it's brilliant. And even though I was really, really keen and enthusiastic to explain to them what I was doing, and I could see how it would help them, what I wasn't doing, which you taught me, was meeting them where they are. And that was a massive meeting them where they are. And so that calmed me down quite a lot. And that whole got 2 hours, 2 ears and 1 mouth, listen more than you're talking. And I think that talking for me was a bit more of a nervous energy.
Yes.
I hadn't realized it was nervous. And I was like, yeah, no, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And not realizing that in the back of my mind, I was nervously wanting them to say yes, rather than sitting back and going, okay, so tell me about you. Tell me how you are in your business, where you are, what's going on with your music thing, and how far have you got, asking more questions. That was a massive thing as well. So yeah, asking questions, and that structure of what and when and how was I would.
It makes me so happy hearing you say this. It really does.
Something then.
Final question.
Yes.
What would you say if someone's watching this now? Because a lot of people sit in your shoes. Well, most businesses out there, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, they've at the stage where they're doing the presentations, they're doing all the work, they're working the long hours, they've got some sort of structure, they've got a program, but they've never really took an expert into that to really fine tune it because they think they've got it all covered. What would you say to people that are sat on the fence at the moment thinking about whether they should or whether they just already don't need it?
I would think, well, probably what I'd say is if you're sitting on the fence and you're not sure, it's probably because there's some level of detail in your business you don't know about. And therefore, if you don't know what you don't know, then learn it and do it and sign up and take the jump, because, you have to, if you are going to start a business, I think, and this is the biggest learning for me, if you're going to start on your own, I can only talk from solopreneur place, but if you're going to start on your own, you need to accept that you're not going to know stuff. You just need you need to accept that right from the beginning and be willing to go with it and ask questions. And I must say, you're very approachable in that way, and you know that never making you feel embarrassed to ask is a massive thing. So yeah, I'd say just jump and know that if you're on the fence, it's probably because there's something lacking and missing. So do it.
You're amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's straight from the horse's mouth from the amazing Sarah Eden. Sarah, thank you so much today. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, however you identify yourself, if you want to know more, all you need to do is click one of the magical buttons around this screen, or drop me a message at hello@thesalesangel, or just go to Instagram @thesalesangel and drop me a DM. I'll edit all that out. Perfect.